Hello Pisces, welcome to this reading. My name is Zane and we are going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Pisces for the week of February 21st. Now Pisces, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now Pisces, I do not offer personal readings, so if you get a message from someone, that is not me, that's someone impersonating me. Please do keep that in mind. Please do not get scammed. I also do exclusive content on my Instagram, so if that's your thing, definitely give me a follow there. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and see what we have going on here for you. Now, just a small percentage of the people who watch my content are actually subscribed, and so if you watch my videos regularly and you've not yet hit the subscribe button, please do consider doing that. It really helps my channel grow in a big way. Same is true if this is just the first time that you are watching me. All right, so let's get all the cards out here and make sure everything's in view, then we'll get right into it. All right. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different this time. I'm going to pick a few of these oracle cards ahead of time at the start here. And then I'll also take 1, 2, 3, 4 of these tarot cards to clarify. And all right. So I think that looks good enough to me. Energy on the bottom, you have the Five of Wands. So Five of Wands talks about potentially some sort of conflict here going on in your life. This card comes forward oftentimes when there's like an internal conflict or some sort of internal struggle potentially happening. I do feel like this could be either an internal or a mental struggle potentially, or a mental conflict or an internal conflict. It really depends, and it really depends on how you want to look at it. But I do feel like some of you are working through that at this time. I don't see interference from really anyone else. In fact, I don't really see you sparring or battling with anyone else here at this time. I really think that there is, you're in a potential battle against yourself, right? And, I think that happens to many of us, especially when we're uncertain in life. And, for some of you here, I feel like you can almost like taste victory. And I feel like perhaps what's going on is there's like the final push to complete something is happening for you with this Five of Wands on the bottom. So let's go ahead and put that right here, and we'll expand on this some more as we go along. But you have a pretty good reading here, I have to say. I think that there's one blockage showing up. There almost always is in these readings, and I think that's just, part of life. Like, I don't think I know anybody who has never faced adversity or challenge in their life. And so, yeah, at any rate, right away in the middle here, you have the World card. So the World is all about the completion of a cycle. And this is a strong card when you get the World, especially in the middle. This middle card spills into the rest of these cards, and it really helps lay out the context of the reading. And so when you get the World card, it says you've gone through the entire hero's journey or the fool's journey through the major arcana, and you've completed your task. You have completed your cycle. This is more about cycles than it is tasks. But it says that you are essentially here at the top of the world. And it does ask you to potentially self-reflect. Ask yourself how the journey went. And not only that, in that period of self-reflection, ask yourself what it is that you can do to get ready and prepare for the next cycle, because that's another thing implied with the World. There is always another cycle with this card as well. Now, this is Saturn energy, and Saturn does ask us to do the difficult things in life. It was not easy for this person to summit the mountain. It was not easy for you to get to the top of the world or to complete this cycle. And so right now, what I see is happening here is, you're coming up against a potential conflict here, but again, I don't think it's with anyone else. And this is probably, whatever conflict's coming in is coming in for a reason, and it's probably asking you to grow and improve and to get yourself ready for the next sort of cycle that may be starting for you here in the future. Now, in the past, you have the Ten of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Magician. So the Ten of Wands here talks about you potentially carrying the weight of the world here on your back. This can come up and show up as a burden that you may be carrying at this time. Again, this is interesting because it's showing up in the row of your thoughts or your consciousness or your conscious awareness with the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Swords. So this is a burden here in mindset, something on your mind here causing a burden. And I think that this is, if I'm tying this all together, this is relating to the conflict here. It may mean that the cycle is ready to complete, but it may not have completed yet. And like I said, it's almost like there's this last sort of test. That's what I'm looking for. There's this last test from the universe here coming in to sort of, to see what it is that it will take from you to complete the cycle. Now you also have the World and the Magician. I'm sorry, the Four of Swords and the Magician. My apologies. My mind is on this World card. It's so prominent in this reading. I keep going back to it. But this Four of Swords and the Magician, the Four of Swords is all about healing from heartbreak. So some of you here may be getting over a situation with somebody. Some of you may have, been working through a breakup or a severance or a separation from somebody of the past. This could also be anything that has broken your heart. Okay, because you can see the Three of Swords card on the banner above this person and they are healing from this situation. So whatever the case may be for you, I do feel like, this burden may be different for everybody. For some people, it was maybe a relationship. For other people, it was something else. And I think for many of you, it's internal, but you are healing from that situation. You have this Magician card as well, which is all about translating action into ideas, or ideas into action rather, and really making a manifestation come into being. It's not just being an idea person, but it's actually having the idea and then acting on it and bringing that idea into conscious manifestation. So it's a very good card. It says that you have all the tools in the palm of your hands. Everything that you need is available to you here with the Magician card. So do keep that in mind. Now, in your current situation, you have the Eight of Swords, the World, and the Nine of Pentacles. So we talked a lot about this World card. It is really sticking out to me. But you also have this Eight of Swords here. And the Eight of Swords is another big card here. As soon as I kind of put the cards down, as soon as I saw this Five of Wands, something here in this card was also triggering my feelings as well. Because the Eight of Swords is somebody who is in a self-imposed restriction or a self-imposed imprisonment here. Each one of these swords represents a thought, or you could even say just part of their mental process, and they have trapped themselves in their mental process. They cannot see the way out. You can see that they are blindfolded, they are handcuffed, they don't know how to get out of this situation. But the whole point of the Eight of Swords is you have put yourself in this situation. If this message is for you, you have done it, right? And I don't say that to come at you, but this does not imply someone else. This implies you. And there is a reason why you are going through this internal struggle here, okay? There is a reason why there's maybe a lot of racing thoughts, a lot of maybe confusion at this time. Remember, this upper row is the row of your thoughts. And I think this is coming in, once again, as a test to complete this World card. Now, you also have the Nine of Pentacles here, which is all about financial independence, growing something here that provides for you for the long haul. Definitely a nice card of abundance, because who doesn't want to be financially independent, right? Who does not? Who wants to actually have to rely on people? Nobody, right? And so the Nine of Pentacles says that you don't have to do that anymore. You have a good thing going. And I think for some people, this internal struggle may be money. I think for some people, this internal struggle may be working through a relationship that was maybe a burden. But again, I feel like whatever the case has happened, it's now showing up in your internals. Okay, I probably said that 100 times, but in the future, you have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Four of Cups. So the Six of Swords is all about transition. It's a very good card for me to find here in a reading like this, because it says that I do think that you will complete this cycle with the Six of Swords showing up here in the future. And in fact, I think as this chapter ends for you, there's a new chapter here showing up as potentially a transition away from the past. I think it's a transition towards potentially, you know, some of you may be moving residence actually. Now come to think of it here, Pisces, because the Knight of Wands is a card of changing your zip code, changing your postcode, moving to a new place, moving residence. And both of these cards are major travel cards. Actually, so is the World. Now I'm just kind of putting this all together. For some of you, this may be involving a move away from a place that you lived for a long time, or a move away from somebody you lived with for a long time. This is a challenging thing, right? It's not easy to move to new locations. And I think this is also what's coming up as the struggle here for some of you. You have this Four of Cups as well, which is really asking you to drop the cups of the past here as you see them on the grass, and instead potentially follow this alternative solution, which is showing up right in front of you. But this person, like the Eight of Swords, is blinded. Okay, they cannot see, even though they're not wearing a blindfold, they cannot see why this alternative solution is coming in for them. And it's because they're focused on the Three Cups of the past. Instead, you have this big opportunity here available to you. So let's go ahead and start to clarify. So you have the Four of Swords and the Queen of Cups. You have the Four of Swords coming in once again. So something about rest and rejuvenation is very important for you, especially as you have the Queen of Cups. This could be the therapist in the tarot. I always like to say this is the therapist. Or it could be a trusted friend or ally, but it could also say that you're moving on to calmer shorelines in this case, as you have the Six of Swords in the future as well. You have that paired with the Devil and the Star. Kind of couldn't be more opposite energies. The Devil can have a tendency to be extremely negative, while the Star is all about hope and optimism. And so I feel like there is I always like to say the devil is our shadow side, right? All of us have shadows. All of us have something to work through in this lifetime. And for it's just relating to this burden, and it's relating to this test. I think if you stick to what you know is true and you keep moving forward, you do not give up in the face of a test, I think you will be given this healing opportunity in the future with the Star. The Star is also telling you that there is a wish coming true for you here in the future position. So I definitely really like that for you. You have look for a sign, communicate clearly, and reconsider. So you know what's interesting, the Star can talk about synchronicities, because it's like sort of this person here is tapping into sort of like the universal pool of knowledge, of energy available, and you have this look for a sign as well. And so it can represent synchronicities. I think some of you will start to have those as well here in the future. You have Knight, be brave and honest, as well as Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. This is, I believe, the Empress equivalent in this Oracle deck, which is all about abundance. And again, this idea here of growing something that provides for you, as you have this Nine of Pentacles and this Lady card. You then also have the Fire Guardian, ignite your passions, as well as Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. So you are both getting inspired by the completion of the cycle and potentially a move. Maybe if it's not a physical relocation, it's a move in your thought process, a move in the way that you are operating. But at the same time, you're also staying grounded, staying rooted, and having compassion for yourself here as well as these wishes come true. So love this energy for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. Take care, and I will see you in the next reading.